Alright, recording's going, and let's start our stage so people know. Hey, alright. So, before we return to Barovia, let's get quick introductions for who's at our table, so if anyone would like to start that off.
Hey, it's me. I'm Thrash. I play Father Kilgore, follower of the True Sun, the Twins, the Light, and the Truth. He's
Alright.
a ASMR cleric, if I didn't say that already.
You did not, but I
Well,
appreciate
there
it.
we go. We got there.
I'll go next. I'm Connor. I'm playing Valen. He's a drow shadow magic sorcerer that hails from the Underdark and travels and roams the land with his fierce shadow hound companion Nyx.
Dope. Dope.
I'm Caitlin, and I play Jinx. Jinx is a mischievous and curious backseat rogue inquisitive. This week's fun fact about Jinx is he does have multiple piercings on each of his ears. They're small silver hoops, and because he is a sneaky rogue, he made sure when he got them done to make sure they were separate enough that they don't clink together.
Clink, 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 clink. Alrighty. Well, with that, why don't we get back into Barovia, where you all have had some interesting times in the woods outside of Milwaukee. And on your return to the town, um you were of course able to drop off the rescued children at the orphanage. But we also had an invitation given to you all for dinner with one Lady Fiona Watcher. So, I believe it was just after that invitation where we ended our session. And you have the day ahead of you. I know that Jinx spoke with the bard, the half-elf bard. Does anyone else do anything within the Blue Water Inn at the start of the day? Besides breakfast, you know, you've got your bread and your beet stew
It's
waiting
the
for
most
you.
important meal of the day, so I would hope that would, yes. So, other than breakfast, no, not for me.
Okay. Well, is there anything you'd like to explore within village of Valaki before dinner this evening? You can, of course, check to see if there's anything happening with the progression of the festival of the Blazing Sun, um, or if there's any other places you'd like to look around. There were a few storefronts that you have seen, and Jinx, you have learned that there is a performing monkey somewhere out in the village town.
Yes, I did learn about that. There was one, maybe two things I was hoping to find in a shop while we're killing time.
We'll see if you can find it.
And one of those things being a poisoner's kit, but I'm not really sure how you just walk into a shop and be like, hey, you have a kit that's full of things one could use to poison someone else.
Alrighty. We might have a shop that might be able to do that. Let me take a little look-sees. Shop in question.
Any other thing with health potions.
Now, I don't know if we've got a store selling those. Not
Probably not, but I figured I'd look.
not in Wallachia, at least. Max, if you start trouble, prepare to be swaddled.
Do it, Max. Destroy them.
Alright, So, the closest place you'd likely be able to try and find a poisoner's kit would be at the Arsec stockyard. Sheds and a roomy warehouse, all within this gate that, of course, tells you that it's the Arsec stockyard. You'd also notice, as you've checked around, and this is the place that could work for you, that at the south end of the stockyard, you see a sturdy carnival wagon. It has colorful paint, starting to peel off, with faded lettering on its sides that spell out the words Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders. And there is a heavy padlock on that back door of the carnival wagon.
Are we converting into a Wild Beyond the Witchlight? Okay.
No,
All right, just
carnivals
checking.
carnivals can exist separate to that module.
There's one. There's one in all of D&D. There's one carnival.
Sorry, were those two things unrelated, or do I think maybe I'll find a poisoner's kit in this colorful wagon that's locked up?
I mean, the stockyard isn't like a singular store. It's again a warehouse and sheds, and it functions as a store. But you would also notice that in the stockyard is the colorful wagon that you could explore if you want.
Oh, well, that would um that would super catch Jinx's attention. I think he would be like he would momentarily forget why he arrived here and would just make a beeline right for that colorful wagon.
All right. Uh, would Valen and Mograine have accompanied Jinx out to the
Yeah, why
stockyard?
not?
Yeah.
All right, so the two of you notice immediately your feline companion's attention towards this carnival wagon. So, as you're approaching the wagon, you would notice that it suddenly lurches, as if something big has thrown itself against the inside wall, and you hear a cracking of wood, the scraping of metal, a snarl of something inhuman. Um, and now that you're closer, you would notice on the sides of the wagon, um, there are splatters of dried blood. And there's also an inscription upon the door, or at least its door frame. And you can see it reads, in common, I bring you from shadow into light.
I believe there is some strange creature on this in this wagon. Perhaps sun-based or
Not an expert,
light-based.
not an expert or anything, but maybe we keep the big padlock on.
There's no like windows or anything in this thing, right? Or any way to look inside without opening the padlock.
Uh, Not that you can see, no.
Hanks reads the inscription and thinks about the problem he's been having and it wants to know what's in there. But I think he just walks around the thing to see if he can glean any other information about the situation if he just does a 360.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, that's not great. That's a 12.
No, you're not finding anything. It's just an old wagon with something inside.
Hello.
There's just that growl again.
I heard anything like this before.
Only a history check.
Oh, I couldn't tell if that was on a natural 20, but it was not. It was on a 14.
You have not heard something like this before.
It doesn't sound wolf-like, is what you're saying.
It does not sound wolf-like, no.
Jinx will look to his companions and he'd say, I don't want to know what's in there, but it's probably best, I guess, if we let it be.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Mhm.
His ears just like fall just like a little bit.
Well, as you're heading out, you would notice two figures near the main warehouse. middle-aged and as dismal looking as most rest of the Barovians you have seen. Maybe Jinx they'll be able to assist with your initial reason for coming here.
Upon seeing people resembling proprietors, Jinx has a flash of recognition, like, oh yeah, I came here for a reason. So he'll walk up to them. Well met.
Hello, the gentleman says. Are you
Looking.
with the fellow who owns that? And he points to the cart that you were just inspecting.
Oh no, it was so colorful. I just had to go and look at it.
Hmm.
Someone owns it.
That would be us. I'm Gunther. My wife, Yelena.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jinx. Did Mogreen and Valen approach these folks with Jinx?
I think Mograine would have stood back a little bit for you to handle your business, but he would easily be within eyesight and earshot.
Same with
I'm just
Valen.
I'm just wondering if you guys are close enough where it would be weird if I didn't say, and this is you guys.
You can just point back. It's like, those are my companions.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm with them. They're with me. However you want to
Slight
shake it
nod.
out.
I'm assuming that it would be you buying something then? Or renting promotions, the sheds that are about.
I'm looking to acquire something a little bit uh less, less commonly purchased, I'm assuming. Wondering if you have poisoner's kit.
As the two sort of converse amongst each other, see if they have something of that nature. I think I might have one. And Gunther will leave, and he's gone for a few minutes. Yelena doesn't really talk much, just kind of her eyes flit between you, Jinx, and your other companions, and where Gunther is gone. And then when Gunther returns, what he has, it's not the best condition. It's probably a little older. There's some dust clinging to it. And he allows you to look over the kit. And again, it's very basic. It doesn't have like all sorts of fancy stuff in it. But it would suit your needs.
Okay. How much are you asking for this?
250 gold.
150?
Aye.
Did it have all of the stuff in it, or was it missing some of the stuff?
Uh, it would have everything that you would need to utilize it. It may not have all the like more
That's like 5 times what I thought it was gonna cost, and I looked it up, and it is 5 times the cost.
It's almost like there's only so many stores and supply and demand.
Um, Okay, I'm just
Not fair, but a lot of things in Barovia aren't.
All right.
on the one hand, like, what am I saving my money for? But on the other hand,
It's the principle of it.
it's the principle of it. Where did he pull it from? I
Uh,
see where he got it from.
he went into the warehouse and came back with it.
He's gonna file that information away for later, and he's like, you know what? I'll know where it is if I decide I desperately need it. That's a bit more than I was hoping to spend today.
There's just a grunt as Gunther takes it back.
Can I ask one question before I go, though? In that wagon,
I don't know. They're paid handsomely for no questions asked.
what fella?
The the traveler, colorful as his cart, came in here with a monkey on his shoulder.
Interesting. He didn't like ask you to feed it or anything?
No, it's asked us to hold it here and keep watch on it.
Fascinating. You have a good day. Sorry, I didn't end up buying anything.
Wouldn't be the first.
I think he'll make his way back to the other two.
Easily done.
I think that art belongs to the bard.
Do either Valen or Mograine say anything to that theory that the cart is that bard from the Blue Water Inn?
Can I roll a history check to try and remember?
I mean, go ahead, roll a history check.
Because I don't remember personally, but
With a 20,
is that the same guy?
with a 20, well, this is the first time seeing the cart. Overhearing the description that was given, colorful definitely matches the bard, but you've never seen a monkey on the bard's shoulder.
Told me they had one though.
I'll lean in and share that information. While I haven't seen this card before, I do believe the description is similar to the pod we saw this morning.
If I see him again, I'm definitely gonna ask him. I want to know what's in there.
So, uh, I would say that cuts a maybe like 2 hours of walking around trying to find any place that might befit what you need, and then of course the interaction that you had. Um, Still plenty of time to handle business before you head to the Watcher House. Um, and I need to do some snipping.
They're walking around. Jinx thinks to himself, maybe it's probably a good thing I wasn't seen purchasing a poisoner's kit right before going to someone's house for dinner.
Mo Green and Jinx, you
Hmm.
two would notice this. As you have that thought, Jinx, it seems to be maybe a bit of an omen. As the two of you, out of the corners of your eyes, would notice you do have someone watching you. He's
Do I,
you haven't seen him before, but he's a bit of a almost giving you guys a bit of a tale as you've walked through.
Don't look directly, but I believe we have someone following us.
yeah, he's been tailing us.
I will not look, but I'm going to take their word for it.
What do you think he wants?
He looks shifty. What did he look like? He look important.
Give me an insight roll.
Does he look fancy?
He
Oh man, that doesn't matter if I have expertise. If I roll a 2, that's a 10.
uh Jinx, you can't really catch a read with what you'd seen out of the corner of your eye. Mograine, uh,
Yes.
the guy looks not quite sleazy, but greasy. A figure that probably does the work of someone else. Not important of himself, but maybe has important connections or important information.
He's working for someone.
You can tell all that just by looking at him.
Well, it seems as though he himself is not as important, but he's clearly working on someone's behalf to follow us. So I would believe that he is working for someone in that case, considering that he would have no reason to do it on his own based on his own merits.
I don't want to see if I can sneak away and sneak up on him.
Give me a stealth roll.
It's not as good as I was hoping for, and I don't appear to have heroic inspiration. It's an 18.
With an 18, you'd be able to slip away from your companions, and you would notice that the attention stays on Grain and Valen. If he knows where you are, he's not, it seems, uh, paying you much mind.
I'm gonna try and sneak up as close to him as I can.
Yeah, you can sneak up right next to him.
You know, I already have my own tail. I don't need a
As you speak, the man's reflexes are quick, drawing a blade and holding it to your gut, as it is the closest to his arm. He holds himself, doesn't quite make contact, but perhaps it's not proper form to be sneaking up on people.
second. You're one to talk.
The difference between you and I is that I kept my distance.
Not far enough, I'm afraid.
And he'll remove the blade, but he doesn't put it away.
What do you want?
Don't want nothing.
What do you work for?
Powerful person.
What do they want? With us.
Nothing with you specifically. They want information of what goes on in Vallaki. And you are quite something these days, from what I've seen.
How? I want to. Would like to insight check this guy to see how serious I think he is with that blade, or if he's hoping it's more of an intimidation tactic.
I'll roll an insight check.
22.
The way that he holds it does speak of training. He knows how to use it. But the fact that he was able to hold his reflex means that he would rather not, unless perhaps forced hand. So maybe not so much an intimidation, but protective measures.
What information are you going to bring back to your boss?
Right now, just that you've returned.
Am I aware of anyone important in Vallaki? Can I put two and two together to glean who he might be talking about? Like not.
Not really. There's several important people you've heard. There's the Burgermeister, of course. There's the lady Fiona Watcher, as you've met her signs. But those are not even talking of anyone who might have a more social power, if there's anyone amongst the people with respect or anything like that.
of table, is there anything else you guys want me to ask this guy? Or due to the
I'm good at the moment. I mean, I guess are we? The one question is, are we letting him go?
That's what I'm wondering, but I'm over here with bum a onesie, and
I mean, we gotta be
I
close by, surely.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're not terribly far. I mean, what's his face? Mograine saw him too, so this was you just kind of sneaking up on him. So Mograine and Valen could join you, though that might set
do
this guy more on edge. Who
yeah.
knows?
I would love to know more about what this guy is doing and who he works for, but I don't think I'm gonna get anything more out of him unless we were like, I don't know, it's like knock him unconscious, restrain him, and then hold that over him when he wakes up. I don't know. I guess how far away are my companions? Can I tell like if I'm to start some shit, can they get to me in a round,
Are we within
or would
30
it be
feet?
several rounds,
I would
or like
say
60? Yeah.
within 60 feet. You'd
Within
have to
60. Okay.
dash on that first round, but you'd be able to get into to someone within a round. Yes.
I do insightful fighting.
Sure.
A bonus action.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I make an insight against his deception.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, oh wait, have we rested? Have we rested? Do I have a luck point? I do have a luck point. I would like to use one and re-roll that natural one.
Okay.
Oh my god, I got it too! Ah, that's a 10.
Unfortunately, your insightful fighting, he's very hard to read. Um,
Okay, I'm not gonna get sneak attack if I decide to attack this guy. Which means I can't do any of my cool things that I can do now. That would have helped. I don't want him to get away though. So I think Jinx would, without even saying anything, he thinks, I'm sorry, man. He doesn't say it. I just try and like hit him really hard over the head with like the hilt of my dagger.
uh, yeah.
Not gonna go well for me.
Go ahead. Give me a attack roll.
It's just I'm flavoring it that it's non-lethal, but I'm assuming it's just a normal roll.
Yeah, it's still a normal roll. It'll just do bludgeoning damage
I
instead.
I can't roll at all today. That's a 16.
A 16 will hit. Go ahead and Roll damage.
Minimum damage, baby. That's a whopping 5 points.
And
Right in his noggin.
I bring up a map real quick. We're gonna roll initiatives.
Just like that.
Yeah,
Interesting. On your
just
birthday, no less.
it's not my birthday. uh,
It's not my birthday, said the birthday girl.
but it's not.
Oh, cool tiles.
I can get rid of this one.
This will look good as a black backsplash. Should do this in the kitchen.
So cool. Okay, that's close enough.
What's this guy's name?
You don't know.
I didn't ask for it. It just went right into witty banter.
I rolled horrible on his initiative.
I love that for him.
Alright. I don't need all the guards. Who's giving all those orders? I don't need them. I guess that's it. Alright. Jinx, you're the first to act.
Does this count as a new round?
Yes.
Can I try insightful fighting again?
Sure.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 26.
Alrighty. Ah. You just managed to beat out his 25.
How nice. Love that for me. Okay. I'm going to do another non-lethal attack with my dagger.
Okay.
That's an 18.
That'll hit.
Cool. So I get sneak attack damage on this, but what I would like to do is I would like to spend one of the sneak attack die to trip him. So they make a DC 15 dex saving throw.
That is a 16 on the saving throw.
Gosh darn it. Well, he does not fall prone. But he'll take 7 and 5 as 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And then I'll do my Nick attack. On lethally. A 26 to hit,
Yeah.
doing another 4 points of damage.
He's looking really bad here. Even though it's non-lethal, he's definitely showing some wear and tear.
Love that for him. That's it.
Alright, Valen, it is your turn.
So since I didn't, was I the only one not to notice this guy?
No, but you
initially?
can... Not, initially, yes. But a fight is very noticeable, so you now are aware of him.
I will turn around at what's going on, and in his head he is thinking, "Oh joy, this certainly won't draw attention with a fight in a public place." There's no way I'm gonna try and hit this guy. Because as much as he's a spy, I don't want to kill him. So I will move my full 30 feet and do basically about one of the only few non-lethal spells I have in my book. I'm gonna do hold person on the spy, so I will need a wisdom saving throw.
Is a 21.
Yeah, he's not gonna be paralyzed. DC was 15.
Alright. And it is, anything else on your turn, Valen?
I'm not gonna waste a bonus action here. That's my turn.
Mograine, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Well, so we are currently. This 30 would be this square here. We'll move there, and then we'll use one of our cool new spells.
Now, you can't non-lethal magic.
Non-lethal magic.
No,
Fireball.
Yeah, no, you
No,
I don't know if, I mean, it's up to you if you want to try and do this anyway. I think Jinx was the only one that was trying to go non-lethal, so,
I'm down for it.
but you just, for magic, you can't. Like, magic, there is no non-lethal version unless you have, like, a non-lethal spell, like Hold Person.
Well, I do. And does an 18 hit?
Yes.
Well, then I'm going to use Light Snare as a bonus action and restrain the target.
Okay.
And it is magically fixed in place until the end of my next turn, or until the end of its next turn.
Alrighty.
So how's that for you for non-lethal magic?
Yeah.
Birthday girl.
I'm not
I-
my birthday.
I can
Oh.
hear the wolves being summoned right now.
Yeah, well.
Every mention of that word brings another one.
We'll see.
Just want to look at something here real quick.
We'll see.
Okay. So, our spy's turn comes up, and, his entire plan of action has changed. And instead, he's just going to yell really loudly, "Guards!" And that's his turn. He takes the dodge action and calls for the guards. And Jinx, it's your turn.
Hey, well, I got disadvantage on rolls, right?
He's restrained, so it's advantage.
Oh, so I canceled. Oh, but he You said he took the dodge action.
Right,
So does
so-
it cancel? So it's just straight rolls?
It's just a straight roll, but for anything that would
No
require you
sneak
to
attack.
not have, yeah, because
No
you
sneak attack. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a 23 to hit.
yeah,
Doing 7 more points of non-lethal damage.
and he's unconscious, but he did call for the guards. So, what's your plan?
Like, we gotta pretend he's super hammered and we're helping him. He just passed out. He was confused.
Were there other people in this area when this fight was going on?
You were walking, so, most people seem to be either... There's not really many people on the streets here in Vallaki, that aren't guards. So you don't see anyone, but that doesn't mean that there's no one within their houses or any buildings that are nearby.
I'm totally sure
Damn
that
it.
people didn't hear me just fire off a spell.
I am sure if he was tailing us, he wasn't like out in the open. He was probably adjacent to like a building or an alley he could duck into or something.
And there are still windows that are near those areas, so...
I'm gonna just my daggers away and just fall down on the floor next to him and be like, "Oh God, Jason!"
Okay. You shortly would hear a sound of armored footfalls, as a pair of guards comes up. Only 2 of them, but they see the 3 of you and the unconscious figure on the ground. Immediately there is suspicion raised. So, what's going on here?
Well, I saw this man fall faint, so I called for the guards, but it seems his good friend has catched his fall and is taking good care of him. I might have overreacted. I apologize.
Roll a deception check.
Yeah. Deception. Bam. Yeah. Man of the cloth, I believe, David.
There's a slight bit of suspicion looking between Jinx and the figure on the ground. Right. Well, we'll be nearby if it wasn't quite so much an overreaction. And they'll be on their way, but who knows how far they might go.
Insight check them before they leave. If they
Ro-
buy this.
Roll an insight check.
Natural 20 for 28.
Not entirely. They don't quite seem to believe the fact that you and whoever the figure on the ground is are good friends. The other part, they seem to have bought, but maybe just that one fact is enough to put suspicion in these people who, from what you've seen, are already very distrusting.
As soon as the guards walk away, you would notice like Valen's eyes are narrowed at these two people here. Jinx and the spy.
Now, the spy is still unconscious.
I know. I look at the spy for a second, then I'm fully looking at Jinx. And it's that look of, what in the world were you thinking?
Who?
Jinx, do you reply to the look that Valen's given you?
Yeah, I think we'll keep his voice low, but he'll say he was collecting information on us and taking it back to someone powerful, and I didn't want to permit that to happen. Could you guys please help me get him somewhere else so that we can maybe try and get more information?
I'm so going to regret this. He mumbles to himself. And then from one of his packs, Valen will pull out the rope that he has with him so we can help tie this person up.
Perhaps we get him somewhere first. It's less a public. He's just my passed out friend right now.
It's fine. Valen's just flustered by this entire thing right now.
Perhaps we should get somewhere a little more quiet and a little more discreet before he wakes up.
Jinx nods and moves to like hold under the guy's armpit if someone wants to grab a seat.
I can just fireman carry him if you want.
If you would like, Jinx has no objections.
I would be happy to.
Thank you, kind sir, for assisting my friend with fallen
Absolutely.
saints.
A man of the cloth must always help those.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a particular place in mind, go for it. But if there is, if you want to just try a random house, see if it's empty and can serve your purposes, you are welcome to do that as well.
I scan the area real quick to see if I think there'd be a good candidate for place to duck into.
Uh, Hard to say for sure. A lot of the houses look the same, which means to be in poor condition. Um, so it's much like in Barovia itself, the village you had originally stayed within. Um, Even houses that you knew to be occupied did not look to be so from an outside glance. You'd have to do a little bit more of a further investigation than a cursory glance to see if something would be befitting.
I guess I'll move slightly ahead then to try and find a place. I'm assuming I can move a little bit faster than Mograine carrying the guy.
Okay. Then it'll have to be two rolls. Uh, Either a stealth or performance to not draw attention, and then investigation to see if it will suit your needs.
Right. That's a 28 on myself
Okay.
and a 16 on my investigation.
As you approach the house nearby, for the most part, it looks to be serviceable until you get to one of the more side rooms, and you would hear voices within this house. Unfortunately, does appear to be occupied.
Hey, not this one then.
Excellent. I will follow Jinx home.
Tried another fun.
All right. Give me another stealth or performance roll.
21 stealth.
Okay. As you give this one a bit of casing, you do not notice the sounds of voices or any sort of lights that are lit within. This one perhaps is more suitable.
I'll motion to the other two. This one seems fine.
Very well.
All right. So, as you step within the house, let's see if I got a house.
Hey, you got a hoose in that bag?
Sorry, my bag.
No, I'm looking to see if I've got a
Oh,
house for you guys. As a map. Okay. Okay. Now I do.
Ooh, can we get something more, two bed or two bath,
Nope.
nice kitchen,
Nope. This is
maybe with
what
an
you get.
island?
This is what you get.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
You got an axe.
well, that's outside at the shed. Like you guys are inside.
Is shed maintenance covered by HOA?
There's no HOA out here.
Oh, God damn.
Or over aesthetics is what we get over here.
So what to do here?
We should restrain him and gag him before he gets plans.
That's
Start
agreeable.
yelling again.
I reluctantly hand over the rope that I have, but I will not be involved in the tying up.
Everyone needs someone to keep watch. It's fine.
Jinx, you're dexterous with your hands. How are you with knots?
One way to find out.
If you take your time since he's unconscious, you'll be able to just get what timing?
I've never tied anyone up before.
Brent just popped in here while we were talking about that. Um, uh, but, yeah, so if you take your time because he's unconscious, you no need to roll. But if you're trying to be quick about this, I will say that it is going to be a survival check.
If I take my time, it's still a survival check.
No, if you take your time, there's no need to roll, but you might not be able to gag him, or you might wake up in the middle of it because he's unconscious. But, if you just want to do it quickly, it's the survival check.
I'm leaning towards moving quickly because it's already been a while, and I don't know how long he's going to be out for. I guess that's the survival roll.
I could cover his mouth if you want to take your time.
Well, that works too.
Well, we've already rolled, so it's quick.
Well,
Can I use a luck point?
You can use a luck point.
can I assist?
Well, we're already getting the advantage from the luck point.
Oh, okay. I thought luck
That's
was
a little
reroll.
bit better. That's
Uh,
a 14.
Alright, I'll keep the 14 in mind. Balin,
Yeah.
since you're kind of, watching over this situation,
Mm-hmm.
roll me a perception check.
Got it. That's a natural one.
Let's go.
Okay.
Oh, this is going tits up real fast.
So, you're able to, Jinx, get this spy tied up, and he's still knocked out cold. There's still all sorts of bruises and, whatnot on him.
Gagged also.
He can be. You can,
I'd like him to be.
yeah, you can take care of that. And as soon as you finish gagging him, taking you all by surprise. Coming up from the floorboards is a swarm of rats. We're going to
Boy.
roll initiative. Because you are surprised, you have disadvantage
On initiative.
on initiative.
Oh, that's a natural one.
I can't be surprised because I'm a man of the frock.
I don't believe that.
Okay, well, I'll take a 17 anyway.
Okay.
Swarm of rats. Are we back in Velenar again?
Yeah, what is this? A1E1?
It's almost like rats are universal,
Rats
multiversal.
in this basement?
There's not even a basement. It's a
They
crawl
came out from
space.
which is a basement.
No, it's not.
It is a region and area underneath a building. Therefore, ergo,
That's not how this works.
per se.
All right, Mograine, you get to go first.
Excellent. Can I shun these rats by? I want them to. I'm gonna choose all the rats because I'm assuming they're within 30 feet of me.
Well,
I
you
want
can
them-
get rats A. Rats B are behind a wall.
Very well. Oh, okay. So that's how these are categorized. So one spell would hit a swarm of rats, correct? Or would
Yes.
it hit one rat?
The swarms count as a singular entity for
Excellent.
targeting purposes.
I'm gonna go here, and in that case, I'm going to cast a Burning Hands. I need a dex save from these here rats. Of the A variety.
Cool, that's a 17.
That's 17.
17.
They'll take 4 fire damage.
Cool. Anything else from Mogre?
Not right now.
All right. The rat swarm will move in towards Mograine, climbing up your legs and attempting to bite.
Okay.
That is a 16 to try and hit,
Yeah, that'll hit.
dealing 6 points of piercing damage.
Yeah.
And Jinx, it'll be your turn. The rats are on Mograine.
Am I able to attack the rats on Mograine without hurting Mograine?
You're able to attack the rats, but it'll be a close call if something goes wrong.
You can go for it. That's fine.
Alright, well, I'll move up and I'll try and stab some rats. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna use my last luck point because I'm not convinced I'm not gonna hit Mograine on a natural one. That's a 26 to hit the rat.
That'll hit the rats.
Lovely, and I'll get sneak attack on there as well. That's 19 points of damage.
All right. You're able to. Excuse me. You're able to cut down most of the rats that are on Mograine, but there are still a few that are remaining.
Great, well then I'll do my nick attack. That's a 15.
That'll hit.
And that'll do 1 more point of damage.
Still hanging in there.
Just looking at, I'm trying to find a thing. Oh, bonus action, disengage, and back up a little bit.
Alrighty. Valen, it is your turn.
Ugh. Thankfully, I can use a dagger in this situation. So I will take a swipe at the remaining rats on Milgram with my dagger. With a 17.
Yeah, that'll hit.
6 points of piercing damage.
Alright, and that swarm is down. And anything else from Valen?
That's it.
Swarm E. Moves in. As will this swarm come back up. Another swarm is down.
Well, we got rat generator machine now.
Yeah, all of a sudden. So we couldn't get wolves, so we're doing a rat birthday. Happy birthday, Faye. Rat.
That's not at all what has happened here.
A likely story.
But, these were all pre-rolled when you guys were looking at houses, alright?
I rest my case.
I could have just told you, just pick a house and then you figure out once you're inside if it was occupied or not, but no, I'm better than that. Alright, Swarm E that has come up is gonna go after Valen. You are the first person that it sees.
Yep.
So as it comes rushing towards you,
I realize I don't have my mage armor on.
yeah, who expected rats? That's a 14 to bite.
That wouldn't have hit with my mage armor, but I don't have it on, so yeah, that's gonna hit.
That is 6 points of piercing damage.
Lovely.
And then Mograine, it's your turn. There's more rats.
Can I stay in combat to get around this swarm and stand between these two?
Yeah, because the rats are on Valen. Like,
Beautiful.
You would not get any sort of attack of opportunity moving.
Alright, sick. And then, real quick, that's well within range. Beautiful. So I'm going to choose all of rats B, E, and C. Bacon, egg, and cheese. And we are going to channel Divinity Radiance of the Dawn. I need a con save from all of these rats. You can roll them individually if you...
I will. Okay. Cheese rats. Why did it not roll? Hold on. Cheese rats get a 3.
Okay.
Bacon rats get a 13.
Okay.
And the egg rats get a 1.
Excellent. So everyone fails. They're all taking 16 radiant damage.
Cool. The bacon, egg, and cheese rats are dead.
Beautiful. And that's how you make a good breakfast, everyone.
Alright. Anything else from Mograine?
So let me see. That was 5 feet of movement. I'm going to move to prepare for this last swarm of rats if they try to come down the stairs.
Okay.
I assume I could have heard them scurrying from upstairs down.
I mean,
Is my reasoning there?
you'd seen rats come from that direction, so.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I will set up to brace and hold.
Alright, cool. As Mograine, you move there, these rats do in fact come down. And
Interesting.
They have this speed, so they're just gonna go for you. That's a 21 to hit you, Mograine. For
Sorry, how much?
21 to hit
Yep,
for 5 piercing damage.
got it. Beautiful.
That is it for their turn. As Jinx, you saw Mograine run out.
I will move until I can see what's going on.
Yeah, about right there.
And
More rats
then
are on Mograine.
I'll throw some daggers at the rats. That's a 22 to hit.
That'll hit rats.
Great. That'll be 16 points of damage.
Okay,
Nick attack, I'm assuming misses with a 9.
that will be a miss.
Okay.
And anything else from Jinx?
No.
Alright. Balin, it's your turn.
Okay. No, they're fighting off another swarm of rats in there, but I know the odds are low that the spy's gonna gain consciousness and bolt, but I'm not gonna take that risk. So I'm gonna stay where I am to keep an eye on him, but as an action, I will smartly cast Mage Armor on myself.
Sounds good. Mograine, it's your turn. You've got rats on you.
I'm just gonna swing at him. Damn, 10 to hit?
10 just hits the rats.
Beautiful, because they're rats. Hell yeah, that'll be 9 damage.
Alright, and that becomes that. You still got rats on you.
Okay. Let me check if I got any cool bonus action. No, just that one spell. Okay, cool.
Alright, the few remaining rats that they are pissed now. And they're just gonna try and find, like, any open space on you to bite, Mograine. With a natural 20?
Okay.
Healing 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And that is it for the rats. Jinx, it's your turn.
I'll throw more daggers at the rats. That's a 25 to hit.
Yes.
Doing 17 points.
And that is the last of the rats. And we're no longer down to initiative. Returning to your unconscious spy. He is still currently unconscious.
Control. Wait in peace, maybe rest. Is anyone hungry? Does anyone need a drink? Reconstitution?
I'm okay.
I've got my own supply, so I'm good.
Mograine will take a short rest.
Okay. So, settling in for a short rest. Hopefully, your figure will wake up within that time. I think this will be a great time for us to take a little break here for water, snacks, anything like that. We'll come back in about 5-ish minutes.
Okay.
Alrighty, so anyone who wants to... Why is it doing it like that? Alright, if anyone else besides Mobrain wants to take the benefits of a short rest, you are welcome to press that button. But it is nearing the end of that hour if no one does any sort of rejuvenations to the spy, any sort of healing, that he starts to wake up on his own.
Ah, he's awake.
He asked you some questions. Are you gonna start yelling again for the guards?
His eyes are hard and narrowed, and he just sort of snorts through his nose.
A simple nod or shake of the head will suffice as an answer.
He does neither.
Didn't you right here if you don't want to cooperate?
He leans his head back to expose his neck.
I just thought of something I would have liked to have done while he was out, but I only thought of it in this moment. Um, but I don't like because Jinx didn't take a short rest. He was watching the guy.
I mean, you could have still taken a short rest and watched him at the same time. Like,
I would have wanted to have looked on him to see if there was anything that could identify either him or who he worked for, anything at all.
he had a few pieces of jewelry that could be identifier marks for himself, but you're not seeing anything like an ID card or any sort of written missive.
Okay. Yes, Jinx will walk over to the other two, kind of a short distance away, and try and speak softly. The guy seems to be good at what he does. I don't know that we're going to get any information out of him unless there's a way to compel him.
We already asked who he works for. I missed that.
I asked when I was talking to him before the fight broke out. He wouldn't He wouldn't answer.
Ah, well, maybe he will now, given he has much less options.
Well, I asked if he would cooperate and not shout for guards if we ungagged him, and he wouldn't agree to that. So I threatened to end him right here, and he pretty much said, "Go for it."
Well,
And not so many words.
there are worse things than being ended.
I'll whisper, how about info for info? I mean, if he was killing us, it was for information, right? So maybe if we give some of our info up, maybe they'll give some of who, maybe they'll give up some of who they are. It's the only thing I can think of.
Good idea. I really don't want to kill this guy.
Believe me, I don't either. But I'll try talking, because I do have a pretty high persuasion stat. I know this guy's seems really good at what he does, but I don't know if I don't try. So
Is the building we're in, would you say it's well ventilated?
There's holes in it, so yes.
Excellent. I'm gonna. Is there a fireplace around it?
Uh, no.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. These two seem to have a pretty peaceful way of going about things. I'm going to step outside to start a fire. If I come back in and we don't have the information we want, we'll try my methods. And Mograin's going to step out to start a fire.
All right. Roll me a survival check real quick.
It's going to take a minute. I got some wet wood here.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
You guys got a little more time.
I guess I'll start talking then. So first, I will preface by saying that this, and then he'll use a hand gesture for like the tying up and the gagging, was not my idea. But I have a proposal. It seems that you were telling us for information, and I get you are good at what you do. So I'm willing to do an unusual trade. If we give up some of our information that you're looking for to take back to your employer, maybe you'll tell us a little bit about who you are, or at least who you work for. Don't think violence is necessary in this situation.
Hey.
Much like with when Jinx was speaking, this figure just looks at you with a steely glare. No nods, no shakes, nothing. Just staring.
Listen, I know we've made a lot of noise since our arrival in Barovia. Okay, we get it. But there must be some sort of deal we can come to. Because or whoever you work for, has taken an interest in us.
Have I
And
got
I
my
have,
fire going yet?
Not with a 5. I'll let you know when you get your fire going.
Okay, thank you.
and I have a feeling that If your employer wanted something to happen to us or even hurt us, you would have done it already. So if it's really information you want, I can't speak for the rest of the group, but I'm willing to give some over.
He's still unmoving. Nothing more than the flare of his nostrils and the blinking of his eyes. He's not giving away anything. At least not currently.
Say we at least ungag him.
If we ungag him, Jinx is going to move to stand with a dagger
I didn't say
pointed at the
untie
guy.
him.
No, ungag him though. If we do that, Jinx is gonna position himself with a dagger near the guy's throat.
Okay.
If
So, do you ungag him?
if you're worried about the daggers, I can hold on to them while you ungag him.
I mean, holding the dagger is one hand and you can just pull the gag down.
Basically, just want to be able to silence this guy quickly if he's gonna start yelling again for guard.
Do I have any silence spells? I don't think I do.
Yeah. And that would still take time to cast after being, if a guard is called for. No, yeah. Jinx, you can stand there menacingly. And as the gag is removed, stretches out his jaw. You'd have a better time bargaining if you actually knew what your target wanted. I don't want information for you, on you. I'm paid to do it. If you want information, I want gold.
You just said that.
Couldn't
He doesn't
speak
say
at
that
all.
out loud. He didn't speak that out loud. That's in his head. I imagine it would take a lot to get you to talk. Gold, that is.
Oh, yeah.
How much are we talking?
Depends on the information you want. Right now, I'm on a salary, but if I'm selling peace for you, different story.
Let's just start with basic information and who it is that you work for.
25 gold pieces.
If nobody objects, I can hand over the 25 gold.
Jinx doesn't object.
I'll drop the 25 gold in front of him.
He'll, with his bound legs, bring it closer to himself instead of it just being a sort of carrot on a stick. I work for the Lady Watcher.
Above table, the Lady Watchers who we're going to have dinner with tonight, right?
Yep.
There is. Yep.
Okay. I don't see what the point of this was, considering that we were going to have dinner with her in a few hours.
Like I told your friend, it's not anything against you personally. I collect information on everything that happens in Vallaki.
Is there any particular reason why Lady Watcher is interested in us?
100 gold pieces.
Hmm. I'm considering it.
Yeah. See, Jinx was gonna throw in some extra for this guy, but I don't know that he will now that he's quadrupling the price.
He said, depends on the information.
Jinx will front 100 gold pieces and drop it on the ground.
Same sort of scooching maneuver. Got a job proposition for you. In some of your earlier exploits, I saw potential in you.
Oh, now you can tell her firsthand.
Really afraid to ask this next question, but I'll ask it anyway. What does this job entail?
150 gold pieces.
We might find out for free later.
That's true. As much as I want to know, I'm not forking over 150 gold for that.
This endeavor is quickly becoming a poisoner's kit. What will you do if we let you out of here?
My job? Like I said, I'm on salary. And just because you're the most recent interesting happening in Vallaki, the only interesting thing. Afterwards, I'll clean up. Quite a bit of bruising.
Can Jinx make an insight check as he answers that question to see if he thinks he's gonna run off to the guards?
Yeah. Roll an insight check.
Assuming a spy doesn't want to have too much to do with guards if he can avoid it, but that's a 27.
Seems to be pretty earnest with what he's saying.
We'll look to Valen and say, I don't think I have any more questions for him.
I'll give a nod and say we can let him go.
Well, Green, it's at this time you get a fire going.
Excellent. I'm gonna be leaving my Morning Star's head and chain in the fire, and just letting that cook for a little.
Okay. So while that's happening outside, Jinx, Valen, what are you doing?
I'm tempted to let him sort himself out and get out of these binds, but we could probably reuse that rope because it probably costs like 100 platinum in Barovia to buy a new thing of rope. So I'm assuming, like, I'll ask Valen, like, do we want to
I would prefer to have
loose
my
him
rope
then?
back. Yeah.
Fair enough. Jinx will set to work at untying the knot that he tied.
Yeah, I'd say 14's a pretty standard knot. You're able to undo it.
But thank God I didn't roll like a 20.
Yeah. As you untie him, he sort of flexes, stretching things out, scoops up the 125 gold, and as you're doing business, just cut right to the chase rather than dragging me off to who knows where. And Mograine,
Jinx will just kind of
Mograine, before your chain or Morningstar head even begins to get the faintest of glows, you see this man walking out.
I'll sigh and pick it up and kind of twirl it to let it cool off a little bit as I'm kicking dirt on my fire to join with the rest of the group. I take it that we have gotten the information that we needed.
That we did. Cost a little, but we got it.
It's a shame.
Mm.
It is a hard resource to come by in these lands. But I'm glad we got the information that we wanted.
yeah,
Apparently,
on
I was going to share the info that the spy gave.
Excellent. I will gladly take that information.
So the spy works for the Lady Watcher,
Yes.
and apparently she's inviting over us for dinner tonight because she's going to offer us a job.
Interesting.
We did not get beyond that.
We paid for that.
It was either that or not get anything at all.
Hmm. I see.
as these two are having that conversation, Jinx is gonna pull 25 more gold pieces out of his pouch and give it to Valen. He's like, I got it. I got us into this. I'll pay for it.
Give a nod over. You didn't have to do that, but thank you.
Didn't super go the way I had envisioned it would. And we almost all got arrested. So sorry. Hand the gold over.
What an interesting turn of events that could have been.
Well, I vote to get out of this ramshackle place.
Yes, this building is quite sad.
Just like me.
You can't be sad on your birthday.
It's not my birthday.
Before there's more rat swarms.
It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. I'll cry if I want to.
How is it your party if it's supposedly my birthday?
Well, you're the one saying you're sad.
Because I am.
Checkmate.
Jeez, that was an impersonation.
Alright, so. Dinner is not terribly far off. Perhaps with just enough time for you all to, if you'd like to get in a brief washing before heading out, to gather yourselves as you are going over to the House of Nobility. If you'd like to make a good presentation of yourselves.
Does the Blue Water Inn have?
Yes.
They must have places to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, Jinx will make himself look presentable.
Usually done. Valen, Mograine, anything special?
Uh, just go through, polish all my gear, make sure it's nice and shiny, ready to go. Uh, make sure my holy symbols are very bright, especially.
We'll make sure my robes and everything else look good.
Okay. Then you, after cleaning yourselves up, make your way to the Watcher House. As the Sun's Watcher were able to give you the information of recognizing it. Approaching, you see that this house seems almost disgusted with itself. It's a slouching roof that hangs heavy over furrowed gables, moss-covered walls that sag and bulge under the weight of its vegetation. Studying the house's sullen countenance, you hear that the edifice groans. It's at that point you realize that the extent of how much this house hates what it has become. Approaching the front door, you would notice that it is reinforced with bronze bands along the outer wall. And there looks to be some sort of small window slider that is upon the door as well.
Well, I guess I'll do the honors and I'll knock on the front door.
So Valen, you step up, and
Yes.
then you knock. The window slides open, and you see a set of eyes peering out. What's your business?
Lady Wachter has invited me and my companions here for dinner.
Roll a persuasion check.
Where's my sheet? There it is. 25.
The window closes. And then the figure opens the door for you, letting you in. So, as the door opens, you see a very narrow vestibule for where you can enter. There are 3 stained glass doors with wooden frames that lead out from this room.
Step inside.
The servant will open this northern door for your group, and then you can see that it is a staircase with 2 other doorways, and then you are directed towards the make sure that I'm putting you guys in the right area. Yeah. So, you guys are directed through this room where you've got the dining room and parlor. So, as you are you're welcomed into the parlor, you would see none other than the host herself, Lady Watcher. And I do not. I'll just do this. So, as you are brought in by the servant to the parlor, you would notice there are these elegant couches surrounding the oval table that is itself made of this black glass. There's a blazing hearth, and you see above it the portrait of a smirking nobleman. He sports a broken nose and a tangle of graying hair at the temples, with several smaller portraits along the northern wall. You would recognize a similarity between this portrait and the two young men that had extended the invitation to you. Welcome. I am glad that you have come to dinner.
It is kind for you to have us. Thank you for letting us into your home.
Yes. And she'll motion for you to take your seats at the couches. Perhaps we should do some introductions first before moving on to dinner. I do hope that you will enjoy what my chef has prepared for us. I am the Lady Fiona Watcher. I am widow of Nikolai. And she looks to the portrait over the fireplace. Mother of his children as well. And while I've heard of some of your exploits around Valaki, I do not know who you are.
I'll speak up. I'm Valen. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance, Lady Watcher.
Father Kilgore, a pleasure.
I realize we hired a man of service. And you. She looks to you, Jinx.
I'm Jinx. Nice to meet you.
So Father Mulgrave, or Father Kilgore, tell me, who is it that you serve?
I serve gods not of this land, but gods all the same. The twins of the true sun.
Mm.
I'd be happy to tell you the story of how they came to be and who they are one day, but I do not want to take the whole evening discussing my beliefs and my truths when you have brought us here on business.
Fine insight you have. Yes, I do have some motives of my own for inviting you here. But we can save such conversations for after dinner. It is impolite to speak business before the feast.
Very well.
So, as we wait for a chef to bring along our meal, how have you found Valaki during your stay?
Be candidly on my half. Cold, dreary, threatening. I believe those are a couple words that could convey our stay here so far.
Interesting response. If it were anyone besides myself, you may perhaps find yourself in a bit of minor danger speaking such thoughts. Nothing so dire as to worry about your livelihoods or anything, unless you are prone to die of embarrassment. But such statements could land you some time within the stockades in the center of But do not worry. I do not plan to make such thoughts known to the Burgermeister. So, you are not of Barovia. It's very clear to see. Would you regale me with some tales of where you are from?
I would be happy to. I'm from a faraway land of Carcosa. It is a desert with two suns above it. The structures there have been built over generations and stand tests of time despite being buffeted by sand. It's a oasis in a sea.
A very different thing. The fog
Very.
and mists and gloom that we have here.
Which is quite different.
In his mind, Valen is thinking that this was the one question that he was hoping nobody would ask him. But
You always try to play it under the radar.
You
I'll do
don't
my
have
best.
to entertain her questions. You could just not answer them.
I'll stay silent on this one.
Jake will explain that he's from Waterdeep, which is a coastal city. Gets foggy there too sometimes, but fog gets burned off during the day when the sun comes out.
I think I hear the sound of the kitchen car. And she'll stand up and make her way across the room to the dining portion of the area and motion for you all to join. As the cook figures in, you can see that he is older, hands calloused and sporting all sorts of small burns from over the years as he brings out. It's not a grand feast by storybook or royal standards, but it is perhaps more than what most people see here in Barovia. There is a roast duck and all sorts of different vegetables and sides on the area, as well as a ice bucket with wine. It is a shame about what has happened with the wine deliveries from Wizard of Wines vineyard. I have been collecting for quite some time, so I think I will be fine for the moment. So long as my boys continue to go elsewhere in my own personal stock. You are welcome to seat yourself as you wish at table.
As we're sitting, Valen gives this kind of relieved look that the dinner came, so we didn't have to answer that question.
I just brought one in.
They were just chatting before dinner came out. I think would have been trying to read uh, the lady to see if he sees any signs that she might know that he roughed up her spy earlier that day.
Give an insight.
18.
She's hard to read. If she knows, she's putting on a great display of not knowing. But speaking of said figure, coming from one of the other rooms, he comes in and will take his seat at her right hand.
Yep.
Allow me to make a small introduction. This is Ernst, one of my employees. I do not believe that any of my children will be making an appearance this evening, so this will be all that we have for dinner. Please enjoy yourselves.
Give any sign of recognizing us when he comes in.
I was about to ask that.
None that would be any sort of immediate sign, just, shift in the eyes that he seems to be honoring whatever payments were given. Sorry that I missed the social hour. I was resting myself. Yes, you told me that you had a bit of a troublesome day. We are able to eat food and some time to ourselves does wonders, I would say.
Hindsight that interaction, does she know?
Roll a insight check. As hard as she is to read, you don't think that she is making any sort of double hand comments here. It seems that he has not divulged that you were the identities behind whatever situation he ran into. Besides those brief comments, if no one asks anything of Lady Watcher or speaks to her, she makes just small portions of her food upon her plate, neat bite-sized pieces. The way that she presents herself is very similar to the sort of airs of the dining room. There's the crystal chandelier that is imperiously hanging above this room. And while the silverware is tarnished and the dishes chipped, they are all still very elegant in their presentations. The chairs are adorned upon their backs with sculpted elk horns. And, of course, there's the ever-present fog. Over top the estate, you can see through the latticework windows.
Did you say there was issues with wine milk?
Yes. Ernst was telling me the other day that there has been some delays in shipments through the Blue Water Inn. They are usually the first to get any sort of wine shipments before any of us more private buyers. If they're not getting any sort of shipment, there must be some issue happening at the winery. been quite proactive in dealing with issues. Not that it would be of any sort of requirements, though it might boost your reputation amongst the people. The winery is not too far from Valaki itself, just a few miles. I'm sure the family that runs the water inn would be very appreciative of getting a shipment of the wine once more. And I know that my sons would definitely appreciate it.
Well, I will let you know this that while we might have done much good in our travels here, ah, it hasn't been purely altruistic. It has been, well, that might not be completely true. Some of it has been altruistic. Most of it has been dealing with situations that present themselves in a negative manner to us, and it's just good of the people. But I would say some, I would agree with you. I didn't mean to cut you off, Valen. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm sure this is something that we could look into.
These, again, up to you. Just some information. I have no reason to hide it from you. And as dinner goes by, unfortunately, there's no dessert. Uh,
Boo.
but you do have the wine. And when you are done, the lady will bring you back to the parlor, and she sits down on one of the counters and gazes up at the portrait of her late husband. Nikolai was extraordinary. You would notice the other portraits along the wall. Very similar. They depict the Lady Watcher, two boys, and a daughter, as many other various Watcher members, family members as well. But unfortunately, he passed before what should have been ours would become ours. You have not been in Vallaki long, but I'm sure you have heard of our eccentric Burgermeister and his incessant festivals. No good for any of us, no. But I believe you can be a catalyst for good.
What exactly are you proposing?
I'm proposing this. You help me get rid of the Burgermeister, so that way I may take over the position and bring some changes to Vallaki.
Just to make sure I understand. Do you want us to kill him?
That would be preferable, but if you need to lock him up in some sort of cellar or anywhere that he would not become a problem later. Vargas is frightful. I doubt he would give up his seat without a fight. I am no fighter. Is this better?
You sound better.
Yes.
All right, and with camera on, I'm still sounding good?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know what that was. Like, you guys froze on my side, I sounded garbled on your side. Oh,
That was a mess.
Discord. All right. What was the last thing you guys heard?
Yeah. So basically, I asked Lady Watcher if she wanted us to kill the Burgermeister, and then that's when you cut out.
Okay. So, killing would be the most efficient for what needs to happen. But if you need to lock him up somewhere, he won't be a problem. Some sort of distant cellar or something like that. Could also work. Vargas is stubborn and prideful. He won't give up his position without a fight. I am not much of a fighter.
Kind of changes you want to bring about here. You were in power.
Getting rid of those constant festivals are stuff, but making it fit for the Lord of the Land.
You know who she's referring to there?
Oh, most definitely she's referring to Strahd.
Mm.
She wants to make it better for him.
That's what she said. This is not something that you need to accomplish this evening. In fact, I would recommend that you wait a few nights before taking any actions. Be too conspicuous if something should happen to Vargas after you all had dinner with myself.
Is there anywhere you could recommend that we rest and set up for the evening or continued evenings?
Heard that you've been staying at the Blue Water Inn. You could continue keeping there. Or if you find a empty house, is what plenty of Barovians do. Moving.
Very well. I'll kind of turn my party back to the blue water then.
If we decide to do this, are we, is there reimbursement
That will be a
for
reward.
our efforts?
Yes. I have wealth of my own, and whatever would be within the Burgomeister's estate.
What if the guards, I imagine they'd be thrilled if something happened to their burgomaster.
The townspeople, some may be upset, but most are sheep, waiting to be led. I am willing to be the sheepdog for the shepherd.
I vibe check her.
Yeah. Roll a insight check.
30-20.
She seems very loyal to Strahd. You don't know that
Hmm.
she's trying to set up this town as like some sort of slaughterhouse for Strahd to come pickings. But she is very loyal to him. You're able to see that.
Side note, we brought Irina here to get her away from Strahd,
Yes,
right?
Irina was brought here at request of her brother uh, to have her get away from Strahd, who had been visiting her in Barovia.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's just make this Strahd town and then we'll have to take her somewhere else.
Or
Strahd
you...
Town, USA.
God dang it. I mean, you could deny the job offering. That's also a choice here.
Or we could accept it and then not do it.
Also a choice.
Because then she'll expect it to be done, and she'll wait longer until she gets somebody else to actually do it, therefore giving us more time.
I mean, although Ernst is going to be following us around and will be knowing that we're not doing the thing that we said we were going to do.
To be
Well,
fair, to be fair, he only follows you around in Valaki.
yeah. That, and she already said, like, hey, wait a couple days before you do this. So, like, you
Yeah,
know.
if we leave Valaki, that might be a pretty clear indication that maybe we're not going to do the thing.
Oh, we
Well,
just
no,
need to go get.
you head towards the
We're just going on a
winery.
brief vacay. We're just going to do a quick vacay at the winery
Yeah,
and then we'll
we
be
just
back.
need to take care of something real quick. We'll be back to handle that stupid thing you asked us to do. That we totally remember and will do. Went out there. There's just rocks out there. We're supposed to analyze the rocks. Oh,
That changes everything.
that changes everything.
Is the food good though? Is it at least good?
It's better someone.
Yeah, what are we eating?
It's better than some other food that you've had. It was the roast duck and all the different vegetables as the sides and stuff like that.
She
So
made
it
us
was a
Peking
nice
duck.
break.
Yeah,
A nice break from the beef soup and the wolf steak.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, I wouldn't pull a Narnia and sell my family out for it. No Turkish delight, but it was okay.
Were we heading out then?
I
Are
suppose
you?
we are.
Did we give her an answer?
No, but if you don't, she might assume yes.
Or would that give us even more time?
One way to find out.
She's just assuming that we said yes.
I want to say the complete opposite to her so badly.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Mm. But bringing up Irina does bring up a really, really good point.
Yeah. Yeah, what kind of good point does it bring up?
Like, we brought her to the town to get her away from Strahd. And from the very limited experience we have, he doesn't seem like a very super nice dude. And Irina is away from him for a reason. So I would say, to simplify this, Valen has a valid look of concern on his face, and he's heavily contemplating saying no straight up.
Let me just look at something here real quick. Jinx and Mograine, the two of you can see a look on Valen's face, that if you want to play a little bit of, under the radar, you might want to step in.
I'll give him a kick on the leg under the table.
Well, you guys are at the couches now. You're back in the den.
Oh, we're back on the couch.
You're-
We're
Oh.
back at the couches.
You're back
well,
at the
let's all-
parlor.
Oh.
Parlor.
Let's all assume our positions on these lovely couches.
Yeah, we're...
What is this brand? Lazy Boy. These are divine.
So... And then Ernst is
Uh,
just
all this-
leaning.
I'll give him a little bit of a kick and a jostle, like, hey. Let's not blow up our spot right away.
He will look over at Mograine for just a second, but he will steal his look concerned, but his internal reservations still stand.
Well, it is getting late and you've been kind to us. We will take some time to mull this over as a group and get back to you shortly on if we can truly execute what you're asking. If that is quite all right with you.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion check.
Yep. I would prefer to know your intentions before you leave. This is quite a sensitive offering been given.
Well, perhaps there's another room that we can discuss this in as a group in that case. Surely that is a fair compromise.
Ernst, if you could open the door to the den for our company. He will nod, and the door that he had come out from before, he will hold open for you all.
Excellent. Thank you. Very kind. So kind. Stop it. You're so slow about it.
Hush. I want to be precise.
What is the layout of this room?
It's the den here. This is...
I get that, but we've got two couches and facing two chairs looking at a fireplace with another chair looking at one of the couches.
I didn't design this room. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not blaming it on you. I'm saying what I see.
Well, what you see here, besides the map placement, is the wood paneling, the embroidered rugs, the colorful furnishing, some of the most colorful things you've seen here.
Rugs.
Embroidered rugs, and the blazing fire. It almost makes this room very stifling with how warm it is.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at this fireplace. Can I see through this fireplace into
No,
the other? Okay,
they just share a chimney. Um,
interesting.
yeah. But no, there is an elk's head that is mounted above the mantle, and um
Of course there is.
the windows that look out over very dead gardens.
Okay, we do not want to keep these women waiting. Let's make our decisions hastily and as a group. Do we want to help her with this? Show of hands. I take
Jinx
it no one
doesn't say
raises their
anything.
hand.
Jinx doesn't say anything because he knows they're for sure being listened to right now. So he
Right.
shakes his head.
Oh, that's why I said show of hands. So show of hands
Yeah.
if you want to raise a hand or not. That's up to you. So I'm assuming no hands
Yeah.
on that one. So do we want to let them know we intend to assist? Show of hands. And Mogreen will raise a hand with that one.
Just Jinx will do one of these.
Sorry. Like a 50-50 wave.
Yeah, Jinx is
Yeah.
like halfway 50-50.
Got it. Interesting. So
Valen's keeping his hands down. His conscience is running them over. He's no on both.
I do want to remind everyone that we are in dangerous lands, now known in a dangerous town, in the house of somebody who works for our enemy. With precious cargo with us, not far off. That if we move to discredit or let them know we are not interested in assistance, things might get more difficult for us. I am all for that if we are all in agreement, but I just want to remind everyone the situation we are in.
Jinx nods his understanding to that.
I will nod my understanding to.
Very well. Then let us go ahead and let them know our final decision, as they would have requested they know before we leave.
What's that decision?
And as we leave, Mogreen will look at these lovely ornate rugs on the floor, apparently, and admire their craftsmanship.
At least they're not dead cats like in another house.
Did that come through? No. Gosh dang it. I was trying to put a rug on the map.
A sticker.
There's the nice rug.
Lovely.
So, as you return, Lady Watcher looks up from where she had been sitting on the couch still, and I trust that you were able to discuss amongst yourselves.
We have, yes.
Given our discussion and just current capability, plans of travel, all of the out in extenuating circumstances. Oh, there's the ornate rug. Interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
I can add it now.
um, we believe that we would be unable to assist in your request, though we hope you find those that you are looking.
A disheartening answer. But I thank you for letting me know. I will have to figure out my next steps going forward.
Of course.
Insight check. Is she gonna like double cross us?
Roll an insight check.
Is there ramifications for saying no?
She's very hard
Natural
to read.
one. Jinx is getting a headache from the god awful decor and feng shui in the other room. He can't read shit right now.
Well, since that is your answer, I believe that our business is concluded. I hope that you enjoyed the meal.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Of course. Ernst would be the one that escorts you out of the water house on this time. Not what I wanted to do. But where you go once you step out of the estate is up to you. It's getting late, so you could head back to the Blue Water Inn or elsewhere.
I believe we need to head back to the Blue Water because I believe we have friends there.
You definitely have a friend that is over there.
Yes. It's a very important friend.
A very important friend, yes, and true. So, is that the group's intention? Head back to Blue Water Inn.
Yes.
Okay. Well, as you make your way back to your restings, you do pass by the two Watcher sons stumbling back home, well into their cups. Don't seem to pay you much of any mind. And besides that, however, interesting passing bys on the street. Most people, again, stick inside during the night. Superstitions are still strong, even in Valaki. And as you reach the Blue Water Inn, we'll continue that in our next session. Hopefully, things are okay.